Hey everyone, this is Walt from Mouse Talk. Welcome back into the channel. Today we're back with a brand new video, and for the longest time now, I've been wanting to do a ranking of all the theatrical releases of the Star Wars films. Rise of Skywalker has now been out for several months. I've seen it a couple different times. I have my opinion on it now, solidified I think, and I thought, you know what? This is going to be the last of the Star Wars saga that we're going to see, and I thought it'd be a good time to do a ranking of all 11 movies. So I'm including, of course, all 9 in the Star Wars Skywalker saga, the 3 prequels, the 3 originals, and the 3 sequels. I'm also including the 2 standalones, Rogue One and Solo, a Star Wars film. So we'll talk about those as well and rank them. So 11 movies in total, and let's get right into it with number 11. So number 11 on my list, and I think this is usually going to be at the bottom for a lot of people, and that's Star Wars Attack of the Clones. My least favorite of all of these films. I thought the writing was not very good, the acting wasn't very good, the CGI wasn't very good. There just was very little about this film I enjoyed. It's not one of my favorites by a long shot. There's very little redeeming value. I do like the scene near the end of the film when Count Dooku goes up against Yoda. I thought that was kind of cool that they did that. Not many people like that, but I actually did. I thought that was kind of neat to see Yoda in action for the first time, and maybe that's why, because it was the first time we ever saw Yoda. But other than that, there really aren't very many compelling features about this film at all. It just was not done well at all, and the CGI is terrible in the movie. I'm just not a big fan of it. So that's number 11 for me, is Star Wars Attack of the Clones. Number 10 on the list is another one. We're going to go outside, we're going to get one of these standalone movies, and this is where Solo, a Star Wars film, falls in for me. I was not a fan of this movie. Very little about this movie did I like. I didn't like the story they told of Han, where he was from. I don't like how he got his last name. I just thought that was kind of lazy. It just wasn't a great story that they told, and it wasn't, I don't know, it didn't feel like Han Solo's story to me. They kind of threw in a cameo at the end there. I thought it's just a throw-in, which was unnecessary to the film. I just wasn't a big fan of it at all. So that's why number 10 for me is Solo, a Star Wars film. Now we're down to number 9. Number 9 for me is Star Wars: The Phantom Menace. The original, or the first in the prequels. It's the one that we got after the originals. The Phantom Menace for me was very slow. I felt very dull. There wasn't a lot of emotion in the movie. The characters didn't have a lot of emotion. They kind of walked around like they were zombies. The story was kind of confusing when you get into the whole midichlorians and this, that, and the other. It just felt a little too much. I thought the pod racing scene was too lengthy, went on for too long. They could have shortened that a little bit. The redeeming factor in this film to me was Darth Maul. I thought Darth Maul was pretty fantastic. Qui-Gon Jinn was great. Obi-Wan Kenobi as a young child, as a young Padawan, was awesome. Their fight scene, the 3 of them at the end, was really done well. I like that a lot. But other than that, there's not much about this film I enjoyed, and that's why it falls at number 9 for me, is The Phantom Menace. Number 8. Now number 8 for me is from the newer films. I am not a big fan of this one. I almost put this one lower on my list, like bad lower. But it falls here at number 8, and that's The Last Jedi. I am completely upset with this film. I do not like the direction that Rian Johnson took with the characters. I don't like the fact that Luke Skywalker basically quit on everybody, quit on himself. I don't like that he was alone in the end. There's just a lot about this film I'm not a fan of at all, and I didn't like the direction he took it. I didn't like the action. A lot of the action sequences were boring. It just wasn't a very good film in my opinion. It wasn't a very good Star Wars film at all. Maybe if you take it out of the context of the saga, maybe people would enjoy it. For me, I did not like this film at all. It probably should be lower on the list, not where it is at number 8, but it falls for number 8 for me, and that's The Last Jedi. Now number 7 is the last of the prequels, and that's Star Wars: Revenge of the Sith. This movie wasn't that bad. Of the 3 prequels, it's the best of the 3 prequels. Obviously, that's why it ranks the highest of the 3. It's done well in a lot of respects. There's certain things about it that I kind of scratch my head at, and some of the acting is still not the best, but the action sequences are done well. I like that they have a little bit more emotion in this one. I do like the action sequence at the end with Obi-Wan and Anakin fighting. I thought that was done really, really well. So again, some of the dialogue and some of the editing of the CGI is a little not very good, I'll put it to you that way. But overall, it was the best of the three prequels. Still not a very good film, but it was definitely the best of the three, and it did have some compelling moments for sure. And the story was better. Of the three, it was definitely a better story for sure. So for number 6, we're heading back into the sequels, and we're heading over to The Force Awakens. I was so excited and looking forward to this film when it came out, because it had been so many years since we had the prequels, and now we were getting into kind of the sequels after the originals. And I was really excited for it. And when I saw this film, a lot about the film felt like A New Hope. It felt like the original Star Wars film. It felt like they were taking a lot from that film and kind of copycatting it in many ways. The other thing I didn't like about this film was there was no Luke Skywalker throughout the whole film. You talked about him, and you talked about him, and you talked about him, and you kept waiting for that moment we were finally going to see him, and he was going to have action, and he was going to be there. And he's in it for like 3 seconds at the very end. That was very disheartening to me. That was one of the things, as an original person who was there when the originals came out, it was one of the things I was looking forward to the most, was seeing him back in action. I don't like Han's fate. I know that Harrison Ford ultimately wanted that, but I don't like that as well. There just aren't many things about it I liked when it comes to the old characters. Again, I guess these new movies are supposed to be about these new characters. That's a whole nother video that we can get into on my defense against that as well. But overall, not bad. I think it was done pretty well. A little bit of a copycat of A New Hope. And there are some things about it I didn't like, but certainly it belongs, I think, right here for me at number 6. Number 5 for me is Rise of Skywalker. It's the last of the sequels. It's the final film in the Star Wars saga. Again, I think I liked it best of the 3 sequels. Still not my favorite for sure. Lots of different plot holes, different things in there that I didn't like. I felt like J.J. Abrams, I hate to say it, was a little lazy with this film. I think he could have gone a little bit further with explaining why Emperor Palpatine is back, getting into that backstory, how he survived, what he's been doing. He was really kind of lazy with that. He didn't really get into that. It was just kind of one of those, oh, by the way, the Emperor's back. I don't like that. I thought they could have went into that a little bit more. Some of the fight sequences were okay. Not a lot of fight sequences in this film. I think there could have been a little bit more than that. Again, they threw in a cameo with Lando that was really an unnecessary one, but they threw him in there. I think they could have gone a little bit further with his character. Just not my favorite for sure, but it was definitely the best of the sequels to me. So that's why it falls at number 5. So number 4 for me, we're going back to the other standalone, and that's Rogue One. I thought Rogue One told a very good story. It showed us how they got the plans for the Death Star from the original movie, how that happened, how they got them to Princess Leia. It was done really, really well. We had cameos of Darth Vader was there. We had a cameo of Princess Leia and some other cameos, which was really, really neat. It was a good tie-in to the originals and how all that happened. I liked the story it told. The acting was really, really well. It was slow at times, and I think there were some unnecessary characters that they had in there. But I think for the most part, it was really, really done well. It was a good film. Again, slow at times, but it told a good story, and it was acted well. The dialogue was really, really good. I enjoyed the action sequences. The final action sequence with Darth Vader was really, really neat. I like this film. I thought it was done really well, and I definitely recommend it. That's why it's number 4. Number 3, and obviously you guys, for a process of elimination, know which 3 are left. But what order are they in? So for me, number 3, we go back to the original. We go back to Star Wars A New Hope, 1977, the original. It was unlike anything at that time that we had experienced in the movie theaters. It took you to a galaxy far, far away with new characters, creatures that we didn't expect to love, that we would fall in love with, droids that talked and had personality, good guys, bad guys. the Empire, the rebellion, the farm boy who leads the rebellion to victory against the sinister, baddest of the bad characters, just in time to save the world, literally. It was just an incredible film. The smuggler who turned into a hero. It just was awesome, and it started this whole saga. It started this whole generational thing that's just gone on for over 40 years now. And it's just a great film. Lots of comedy in it, but at the right times. The comedy isn't the entire film, but where they throw it in, it's fantastic. It's just timed really, really well. So that's why number 3 for me is Star Wars: A New Hope. Number 2. So number 2 for me is Star Wars: Return of the Jedi. I really enjoy Return of the Jedi. A lot of people have this one further down their list. Obviously, I think it's really, really done well. It was the last of the originals. Again, it told a great story. It was the final act. And I thought it was great. It was Luke bringing his father back from the dark side to the light side, not falling to the Emperor and becoming a Sith. Just restoring his father's faith. It's just told a great story, and it was very emotional. I still remember this day being a 12-year-old in the movie theaters when that happened, and at the end of it coming out, tears in my eyes, and it was just great. And Darth Vader, in the end, saves his son. It was just done really, really well. Now the Ewoks, okay, that was probably something that was a little unnecessary. They're definitely campy and probably a little too kooky. But again, you know, the scene with Darth Vader and his son fighting in the end in the Emperor's throne room, just amazing. You know, and Luke saying to his father, "I have to save you," and his father saying, "You already have." It's just great. I love it. I love Return of the Jedi. I think it's underappreciated, and it's a great film. And it's such a great final film to a trilogy that is ongoing for forever. But number 1 on my list, and I think this one's number 1 for a lot of people, not everybody, but I think for a lot of people, is Star Wars: The Empire Strikes Back. The Empire Strikes Back is probably the closest to a perfect Star Wars film you're going to get. It has betrayal, it has love, it has shocking surprises, it has a cliffhanger, it has funny moments, it has sad moments, it has action, adventure. It just has everything, and it has such a major reveal in this film that back then in 1980 when this film came out, absolutely nobody expected it. I'll never forget it, sitting in the theaters when he said that line, "No, I am your father." You're just like, what? There's no way. It was the neatest thing, and you just didn't know. Was Luke going to stay good? Was he going to turn to the dark side? It was such a cliffhanger. It was just a game changer for sure. We got to meet Boba Fett, who was really cool. It really lived up to its name. The Empire did strike back, and they kind of won in the second film. But it was such a great film. It's my favorite of all time, and that's why it's number 1 on my list of these 11 films. But now it's out to you guys. I want to hear from you. Let me know in the comments. I'd love to know your list. Rank them for me. Let me know what you like as your favorites and where you put them on your list. I'd love to hear from you. If you are new here, we'd love for you to subscribe to our channel. Just hit that subscribe button and that bell notification. That way every time we do a live video, which we do a lot of, or post a new vlog, you'll be notified and you won't miss it. We have 2 partner channels. We have Stevesworld and DizneyDan. Be sure to check those guys out. Special thank you to all of our members who have joined our Mouse Talk family. We definitely appreciate your generosity and loyalty, and we definitely appreciate you being here. And other than that, guys, I just want to thank you for joining me. May the force be with you. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up as well. Go a step further. It definitely shows you care. Until next time, take care of yourselves and each other, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.